Wake up world, Aussie 59 here. Sorry about not being up last week, but I might not getting them up every week, but I was sick for a week. And I had a whole show planned out and all that for this week, and then there was an incident in Russia. And I think the title of this one, which is Wake Up Russia, okay? I have seen many of these things played out around the world where there has been sacrificial lambs for fascist parties and groups that tend to believe that they're right, so somebody dies as a martyr. Okay. I have not even a 1% thought thinking that it came from Russia. Okay, the man only had, or the party he has only has a 5%. Okay, that's actually, and he's also a friend of John McCain. I find that kind of funny, that he was a friend of John McCain, and John McCain was the one that incited the riot of another, but it was a Nazi group. That's the thing, you gotta be worried if it's a Nazi group, and you guys know about Nazis over there. You guys helped defeat them. You were one of the biggest influences in the Second World War to beat them back. But when we've got Kiev within moments of it, pointing it at Putin, Western media saying Putin, this is his, if somebody who is a leader of 5% of the Russian people against Putin, and that's his largest or strongest opposition. Might have been his most flamboyant opposition. But when I saw about the murder, I took a little look back to his affiliations.
That's how it's done.
And he's affiliated with Nazi parties.
And for our category choice, sports.
And it's nothing for them to sacrifice for the war movement. We had the peace talks in Minsk, trying to get things calmed down and all that stuff. Things seem to be going a little okay, except for Perzhinsko, whatever his name is, the Kiev guy. I've never been able to pronounce his name. I don't know why. But he's looking to get weapons. And then you have the right-wing group, the Nazi group, that isn't listening to the Kiev government. Okay? And this guy's a friend to the Ukraine. Yeah, he is a friend to the Ukraine. He's also associated with Senator John McCain, who, if people in the world, I'm talking now to the Americans here, if you don't realize that he's a Nazi, then maybe you've already lost yourselves, because you guys have to wake up. But Russia, don't fall into the propaganda machine that the West spits out when they want to do something. There's been so many false flags. I'm not saying the guy didn't die. I feel real empathy and sorrow for the family and friends that he lost, but I do not think it's Russia, and I don't even know if it was murder. Think about that. If he volunteered to be a martyr, then it becomes suicide. Because I don't think Sunday's march would have got near the turnout, and I know for sure It wouldn't have been in front of the Kremlin. So, this is coming from a person who remembers the election in Canada. And in Canada, on the news waves at 10:30 news, the night before our last election, which got Stephen Harper in, Bin Laden was supposed to have been killed. So we only got a 51% turnout. Russians, don't let the propaganda, Nazi propaganda machine pull the wool over your eyes. They're trying to do it all over the place. There's too many false terrorist things going on, too much of this garbage going on out there. And it's just something I think we gotta wake up and question. The hair on the back of my neck is getting up. My nose is twitching. All the signs that there's something really wrong in Washington, London, Ottawa, and probably some leaks from Kremlin, because there was a truck that blocked the thing from the video camera. It looked like so many Hollywood movie scenes. I'll just tell you that much. It looked like so many Hollywood movie scenes where you've seen kidnappings, abductions, and murders, all done in the same way. This big, huge van sitting in front of the whole incident, and no camera sees it. It looked too much like a production. If they were going to assassinate him, hey. The camera view, there's got to be a building somewhere near there, and a sniper would take him out. And a Ukrainian model with him. And now, apparently she's disappeared? No, she hasn't disappeared. I'll tell you, if it happened here in Canada, I'd be pissed off if our officials let a witness like that out of their sight, especially with such political ratifications. You know, it's like, this is like a terrorist act on Russian soil, is the way I feel it. Because I feel that it was done by someone other than a Russian. CIA, Mossad,
Time to bring your A game.
British intelligence. I'd hate to think, no, if it would, I can pretty well say Canada didn't do it because they would have used a sniper more than likely. They would have had the brains to do that. But it smells like an 8-day-old cod. Yes, it's like more of the manure. I feel sorry that the guy's dead. If it was a murder, then I do not think that the Kremlin had anything to do with it. They have no motivation to. Unlike the Ukraine, it'd be a hard thing for 5% to overturn your government there in Russia.
It's your chance to change it up, player 3.
And from what I've seen from alternative sources, yeah, it's rough. You guys are only 25 years old. It's rough here in Canada, and we're coming up to our 150th birthday. Right? There's a lot of things that got to be shaken around here, too. But there is process, and democracy is riddled with crooks, okay? Just remember that, because the majority of the democracies on the planet right now are run by capitalists, so it's not really a democracy. It's supposed to be. We can vote on it, and when the vote turns wrong, then that's different, but Problem is, we got to wake up and pay attention to what's going on around us. That's the problem. It's our responsibility as voters in any democratic society, or any society pushing for democratic society. That's you guys in Ukraine. Okay? But it's responsibility of the people to get out there and vote. And you saw that in the Donbass region, in the two areas where they got out and voted. They got large turnouts, and there was threats by the Ukrainian government. There was bombing going on at the same time, all sorts of stuff. But they wanted a democracy. They didn't want a dictatorship. And that's all Kiev is offering Ukraine, is a dictatorship, not a democracy. And it's going to be a fascist dictatorship. They're the ones that control most of the power in the Ukraine. Wake up and take a look. Russia, I applaud you for the humanitarian aid that your public and your government has put out there. I just wish that you guys would have stepped in with a Peace Corps of some sort.
And the contest continues.
Gone in through the United Nations, because there's grounds to put up a ceasefire zone. You know the one, I don't even like military. Okay. You got me on a tongue twister. I can't say it on a Monday morning when it's supposed to be a Sunday show. Militarized zone. That was it. A coffee. I didn't have enough to get militarized out. But I just think that we should take a look and see what a lot of this stuff is around. Okay? It's obvious in the West, and this is something I think we have to wake up and say no to a lot of the garbage that's going on. Okay? We have all these politicians, and actually, I should say government elected people, speaking for the people in the United States and Canada, which don't know their ass from a hole in the ground.
One wrong answer and you're out.
Okay?
Next category. Looks like this next
And
category may be the last.
I know things aren't perfect in Russia, but guess what? Things aren't perfect here in Canada, things aren't perfect in the United States, and things are a hell of a long way from perfect in the Ukraine. And if this could be okay, the reason I think that the motivation, okay, brings NATO and Kerry and McCain and all that to the front of this issue with a political assassination where it may have been a convenient murder or even a suicide. Just think on that. Wake up, have a cup of coffee, smell the roses. Remember, we live among the fertilizer. Have a good one. I'll try to get back to you next week. If not, it'll be shortly after. Bye.